Hello, and welcome to another session of Gotham by Night. Well, a lot happened last session, didn't it? And I think the characters and players have a lot to discuss. I think the scene will now take place in the clinic, to be the first off, where some of the characters will have a lot to say to the good doctor, I'm sure. Why don't we go ahead and take the scene away from there? And I will give it over to the players.
So
All
I
right.
suppose I'll start. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, start.
I'll just say because I got text messages detailing you guys' imminent arrival, I would be probably standing in the entrance waiting for whatever cars are arriving. So you guys know, and you don't have to scare the shit out of my fucking my my poor fucking assistants.
All right. So Creed probably steps in first, and he's wearing a trench coat. But if you get a good look under the trench coat, you'll actually see what looks to be like futuristic ride armor, I guess you would call it. Stuck, like, concealed underneath. And he walks in, looks around, spots you, and walks over. Then probably sticks his hand out and gestures for others to come in.
Well, it's good to see you're not completely dead, all of you. Not that I know why you would.
Like I said, long story.
Yeah, well, we've got time.
Let's just say, be careful when you do a favor for Tatiana.
Oh, she owes me one. Don't worry about that.
This is before Talen got healed, and we're all there, presumably. So he's got
Yeah.
3 bashing and 4 lethal, and is 1 away from falling unconscious. And he's like nodding alongside Creed, like.
Chris just looks over. Oh dear. Let's get you inside quickly. Let's all go into my office. We'll be
Careful indeed.
out of sight there. And he'll like try and help Tal into the office as well as he can, without accidentally like hitting any obvious injuries.
Yeah, I got sniped. I'm pretty sure it's a bullet wound.
Jesus Christ.
I thought it was just from the
The
gargoyle drain.
laser targeted you and somebody else. Either way, I took 2 different attacks.
Ah.
Alright. So I'm gonna assume everybody that's in this like comes into the fucking who's in here? First of all,
Professor Talen and maybe Zoey if she's decided to follow him.
Alright.
Didn't she head off home after all that?
Oh
Yeah,
no, that was before. I thought
This is
that
like
they...
right when Creed dropped us off at the clinic, and then
Yes.
he was hungry. You were there when he picked me back up after, so well, he's gone for that hour. Like, he stuck around for a while at any rate.
Yeah, so you should probably be with Talen at the clinic while Creed goes to,
Yeah.
fill up.
All right.
Right. When everybody comes in, I'll close the door after us to make. put like the little sign that says I'm busy on the outside. Flip that little thing that shows red instead of
No
green.
normies allowed.
It's like I'm doing shit. Get away. And I'm like, all right, is it only a friend here, Talen, who's hurt, or are there others? Of course, seems like he's near death, so he's gonna be coming first. But I need to know how many are gonna be bleeding on my furniture.
It's just Talon. Creed is probably gonna heal as he feeds.
Yeah, Creed just dropped Talen off pretty much.
All
Then
right.
left.
Right, well, let's get you sit. I'm gonna help you sit down on like a fucking chair or something in there. It's like, all right, we might have to do this in several rounds, but we'll get you fixed up, and I'll roll to heal. Well, that's not good.
Do you want
Oh,
to make
no.
that? Do you want to make that a dramatic failure?
Sure, let's kill Talon accidentally.
Oh,
This would be
here we
great.
I mean, I'm pretty sure dramatic failure here would mean my torment way of doing this sets in, which is not good.
Yeah, that would be bad. Let's just disease the shit out of you.
So there are several things you can do. You can always try again. You do also have first aid kits, which give a +2 dice to your dice pool. But anyway, you can make this a dramatic failure, or you can try again. What do you wish to do?
I think I'm just gonna try again. It cost me nothing to do this.
Okay.
Each cumulative attempt is -1, though.
Yes. So you'll get a +1 to this since you're using a first aid kit this time.
All right.
Well, he's got like a medical facility, I imagine. But yeah.
Yeah. That's 4 plus one of them is a 10. So that's each
That is
success can
that
be
is
used
mhm.
to get all bashing damage or single lethal. So I can heal what 4 lethal and all the bashing with that roll.
Very good.
I don't know if that was all of the damage you took, but
Sorry, I heard the lethal. How much was the total?
that was all the bashing damage gone and 4 lethal.
Oh, so literally just enough.
There we go. That should do you nicely, I think.
He's hasn't said much, but he's very appreciative. And you did the same thing where you just put your hand on his chest and he's just instantly healed.
Yeah, just put a hand on like wherever the closest to whatever big wound there is.
We're gonna say we went in the room that Zoe's not in briefly.
Yeah, I'll assume Zoe's not there.
Did you get shot in the dick or something?
She's just on a.
She'd
know,
suffer
on
a
the front
breaking point
room.
if she saw that. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't really have the time to figure out
That's
what
fine.
she
That's
is.
fine.
No, I'll assume she's like looking outside because.
Yeah, Talen knows enough at this point after the gargoyle thing to go like, we don't want a repeat of this. She's sensitive right now.
All right, I might as well ask: are you poisoned, sick, anything like that while we're here? Might as well go through the entire thing.
Oh no, he's pretty healthy aside from the fact that he had a fucking sniper around him.
You could have gone poisoned. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Doing your diligence. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm a doctor. I have to. It would look bad on me if you came back literally tomorrow and was like, "I got fucking sick, you dick." Right. Well, you should be all right now. I'd of course prescribe having a good night's rest, but that's a given at this time of night, I think.
He knows Zoe didn't get like shot or anything as far as he knows, but he's still gonna ask you to take a look at her because of reasons.
Oh, of course. Is this should I be doing my thing or should I be doing the doctor thing?
She might be He doesn't just want to say straight up might be human in case people who are sensitive to that are around, but he's kind of like let you know that she might be not a good idea to use your supernatural talents.
All right. Well, we'll check her over and put some bandages on her. All that. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I was supposed to go home half an hour ago.
Yeah, Talen just shrugs. He's like, the regular doctor thing? And none of that happens, so.
Yeah.
Where to from here, guys? Are we just gonna fast forward till Creed shows up and Zoe's just like, thanks, Doc, bye. Talen, your dick. No.
I don't know.
I don't know if Rexford's even there right now.
Me neither. I've got the fucking song in my brain now.
Stay character.
Zoey. Oh well. Oh, he did say AFK a second, but
Yeah,
whatever.
that's also more than a second ago.
At any rate, I think this is a time like Talen might not ask you directly what you are, but he's like, you're not what you seem.
Many things aren't what they seem.
He may not be a good talker in that sense, but he can still cut to the point. And he's... I just had the fucking phrase in my mind too. Damn it.
But then you became your character so immersively that it went off.
He's like, nothing ever is. That doesn't mean you can't answer me.
I'm not mortal, yes. It's a complicated matter, I'm afraid. I rarely ever tell anybody.
So, out of character, Demon the Descent can roll their cover to spoof, but you don't have cover.
Nope.
If you have something similar to cover, you may want to use that. Because I am not just passively glancing anymore. I'm actually like... so I'm using Eye of Heaven, but I'm also using the...
Not just another abbreviation of crap.
But I'm actually going to get the passive resemblance or whatever, family resemblance. Because there's a roll I can make, I believe, unless it's just a clash. If you're trying to hide your nature.
I mean, he can just spoof it. That's the way we've been ruling it so far.
Yeah.
But he
Well,
doesn't
that's what I mean.
actually.
He doesn't have the trait associated with that mechanic, though.
No, but I'm some weird fucking mix of them, apparently. So
Yeah, but then what's your?
What's
You're
the
gonna roll
question?
a spoof, then.
What's the
Yeah,
question?
ST is here. Let him rule it.
What is the question? What is Doctor
Alright.
trying to do?
I'm attempting to determine the supernatural type. In Demon the Descent, you have a mechanic called spoof. You roll your cover, and that's
Yes.
generally how you fake it.
Right.
But if he doesn't even
So-
have a cover, what
Well,
are
the
we
doc-
gonna-
well, the thing is, Doctor's cover Doctor actually does have a cover. It's not very large though.
I don't know anything about this.
So, well, that's
I've got a body.
that's the point.
If we just want to postpone this to another scene, we figured out.
No. Hold on. It's all right. Okay, so Doctor, you will roll 5 dice.
Alright.
It will be 5. Because I believe it's a roll off, right?
I can pull up the PDF. I actually take his composure off if he was a mage or something similar.
Right,
In this
okay,
case,
That's okay then. So Talen, Doctor, never mind. You don't have to roll. So Talen, just do -5.
okay. So That is 3, 6, 9 minus 5. Leaves me with 4 dice. And I got 2 successes.
Right. So what will happen is, if you've got 2 successes, you'll be able to tell the doctor is definitely something, but it's really difficult to identify it. It's hazy, it's fuzzy, like if I could describe it as you watching a channel, like, oh, this is the vampire channel, this is the werewolf channel. When you get to the doctor's channel, it's like one of those old TVs where the channel's not coming in quite right, and there's all that static, and you keep bashing the television to try and get it to, stabilize, but it's not. So you can tell that there's supernaturalness about him. It's just really hard to identify what it is. You need an exceptional success to identify exactly what he is.
Okay, so we're kind of stepping things up a bit. All right.
Yes.
So everything that I would normally get on a success, we're just going to say is exceptional.
Yes.
Success.
You will see, however, that he's got energies about him, and you can tell he is something more than just mortal, but you can't identify quite what it is. You did get that much.
Okay. So basically what I already knew. Yeah. That's okay.
Oh well, you win some, you lose some.
That's how it goes. The main thing is Zoey doesn't register as supernatural at all. Like, she doesn't have the major template regardless of what you look at. So
Yeah.
As far as anyone's concerned, I can't actually open things up. However, I did say I was using Eye of Heaven. And one of the questions I can ask is, what supernatural weaknesses are there?
I think I only have one.
Well, Brandon went BRB, so
Oh,
it will have
I've got
to.
one that I know of. I don't know what he's given me.
for each turn the bee spends studying her prey, she can learn one of the following: virtue and vice or equivalent, aspirations, negative conditions or tilts, supernatural weaknesses, current wound penalties, and any supernatural fate or destiny.
And you chose my weakness. I'm supposed to be your friend. Dick.
Well,
Sometimes I
supposed-
can help to identify things, though.
well, he's supposed to be your friend, but you're not actually
You're
saying
being
what
very
you are.
forthcoming.
Yeah.
I don't have a reason to be.
He has a right.
Last time
to
I
his
met this guy, he
privacy.
fucked me over a little bit.
I never said I was going to use it. It's just like, okay, if you don't trust me, maybe I should be a little more defensive too. Like, it makes
Creed's
sense. I'm not trying to be a dick here.
Creed's going to walk back in, and you two will be at each other's throats.
Right? I will literally have his head in my throat. Like, chomp, chomp, bitch. You know too much. Just all of a sudden turn into a fucking monster.
I literally just want to.
Doctor.
Please don't
I'm
make me.
just-
Hey, please don't make me spend 5 blood again in my last willpower too.
What, on Juggernaut's Gate?
Huh? No, to resummon Bob.
Oh, that's.
I'm literally just joking. My character wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying, kinship doesn't apply to demons, so
Yeah.
make of that what
I
you
can't
will.
get any merit. Like, I can't apply a condition to them, but I can still identify most things.
No, I mean kinship,
Oh, I see.
broadly speaking, does not apply to demons.
Anyway, I think we should get back to character, back in character rather. And...
We're waiting for Brandon.
Yeah.
That's the damn- Yeah, unfortunately, everything I do tends to sit on someone else's shoulders.
I mean, the fact that I need help because I don't know what choices he
Well,
made,
we
my
can
character
ask
doesn't help.
simpler questions like what your aspirations are.
Well, no nonsense. We need to go with what is his
Oh shit! Everybody here wants to know. Welcome to the class.
destiny.
My
Was
destiny.
his yes.
I mean,
I'm not even sure I know what my
Fate
destiny is.
mages.
I know exactly why he needs to find that out.
Wait, what? So you going on about
I
that?
don't know why you want to find that out.
That's like plot hooks. Insert. Is there any plot hooks about this character?
Yes.
Oh, I need to know that.
Exactly.
Hey, what do you know that we don't, Creed?
Considering it was
Well-
Klass that got the spoilers.
Well, I could tell you, but then that'd be metagaming.
Right.
And spoilers weren't for anything to do with my character, so don't
Oh.
worry about that.
Okay, no worries. I wasn't trying to come across.
Yeah. I didn't want that being on the DMs or my shoulders. It had nothing to do with my character.
How about you wait for another time to look at his fears so we can move this along? Because Brandon is not 100% here, I don't think. Or, I don't know, did Creed do the feeding thing yesterday, or he...
Or I
This is the same day. So Creed's taking about an hour to do this. We can say he's coming back about now.
I mean, if it's only one weakness you learn, then I can tell you the one I have on my sheet.
Any supernatural weaknesses, but sure.
Yeah, well, I've got the one that I'm sure of, that because we've dealt with that. Holy ground. That is a big one.
Ooh. Ooh.
Like truly sanctified places, not just any church that's got built on the fucking road.
Ooh.
But that's a big fucking oof.
Yeah, that is a big goof.
Maybe why I was freaking out a little bit when we got sent into a church in fucking World War II.
Well, yeah, but that church, that ground wasn't sanctified, though.
Yeah, but that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Because that could give me a pretty decent penalty. Like up to -5 penalty on my
Ooh.
dice. On all dice.
Ouch. Yeah, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, do go on in character, please. Guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Because I don't know if this would trigger one of him doing this would trigger
Klass.
my...
To be honest, I'm not doing this like I'm antagonistic towards you or anything.
And I know. But it's just I have supernatural awareness and you're within my...
This is the normal effect, not the satiety expenditure.
Okay. Any overt power is being used. But yeah, it's fine. So, was there anything else you needed? Or do you want to keep...
You'd already tended to Zoe. This is...
Well, she's not here, is she?
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't really tend to a person that isn't here.
He's not that magical.
That's fair. I guess it's fair that you don't trust me yet, but we keep running into each other like this. And I think I've proven myself to your... He doesn't say extended family, but he like hesitates for a second, like that's what he was going to say. And he says troop instead, like TROUPE. And kind of leaves it at that. He's just like, you really don't trust me? You won't even tell me what you are? I mean, you were there when Creed, that conversation happened. They
Nothing
trust me.
personal.
I've only known most of these people for a few days, if I'm to be honest. And it's not that I don't trust in you. It's just that, well, it's rather a large thing. You know? I'll tell you just about anything else, including my social security number, if you truly wanted. But it's revealing it could get me hunted by things bigger than you and I.
I'm actually going to... I'm going to recover a point of willpower because I'm fulfilling my honest. I'm gonna tell him straight up that I'm a begotten. And don't we all have similar threats?
I suppose.
You may not even know what a beast is, but at the very least, it's like I've showed you my cards. Like,
I was there for the birth of all the races. Like, quite literally, the birth.
So I say at this point, Creed comes stumbling in. He blinks owlishly and goes, "Hey guys, am I interrupting something?"
Oh,
we got like the sidelong slitted eyes, like look from Talen.
I'm going to assume he just ignored Zoe on the way in.
you're back now. We've been waiting for you.
Well, he's high as a kite, so he probably didn't see her.
Yeah. You saw Creed coming in. He looks drugged out of his mind.
So she's kind of waving like, "Hi again." Kind of slowly following him to the back.
He suddenly looks over and goes, "Oh," blinks. "Where'd you come from?" You're
Man,
like a
Talen's
little
got some
nin-
great friends. This is some great reputation building here.
Points to Zoe and goes, "You're like a little ninja or something."
Wow, that's slightly racist.
Holy shit.
I mean, she takes it as a compliment, I guess. She's like, yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Just big
Talon
confused
would
face.
hear this, and he's just like his shoulders just drop. He's like cringing. He's just like, oh no, everything I worked for.
I'm assuming they're walking into where
Yeah.
me and Tal are. Oh,
Creed
hello,
might.
Creed.
He doesn't go past the threshold.
Gotta look out at you because I'm standing there. You must be sorry. Are you hurt in any way?
No, actually. You know how it is with bullets and such.
Yes, they hurt very much when you get hit by them.
She's pretty good at not getting hit, it seems.
Yep. I try not to do that.
Well,
It's
that's
generally bad for my health.
No, it very much is. I'm glad to know you're good at dodging them if you get in those situations.
Oh, jeez, I can't dodge bullets. They just suck.
So
Hell. Yes, Creed?
So how you doing, little guy? We are not interrupting anything, right?
Which one of us?
Usually he calls
All
Talon
four
the
of you.
or whatever.
He calls Town Kid.
Yeah.
He's
He
pointing
called me
towards
pretty. What do you want from me?
Pretty and little guy.
Oh,
He's calling
no.
you He's calling the little person little.
That also sounds vaguely racist, but okay.
Exactly.
I'm fine. It's been a long day at work, but beyond that, it's fine. I'm aware that doesn't usually mean fine, but in this case it actually does. Unlike my patients, when I ask them, when I tell them it's gonna hurt, and they say no, it's fine, I can take it without the pain meds because it'll cost us, and I'm like, but it's free. Why are you being a stubborn
Luckily,
little ass?
I don't need to go to the doctor anymore because you know the whole thing about the beating heart and everything. So no more doctor for me. No more doctor for me.
I will strap you to my chair, and I'll give you a full fucking lobotomy if I have to. I'm sorry if I'm cursing. I'm sorry. You're very high, and I don't like that in my clinic. Usually they get put
Especially in
outside.
the medical room.
Yes. Well, it's technically my
Shucks.
office, so if you
Oh.
fucks with anything, it's my. I have to clean it up.
Gives a
I'm
shrug
being
and
very
says,
rude today. I'm sorry. It's a very long day. I'm sorry. I'm using bad words. It's not good.
"It's part of my condition.
Yes.
Don't be mad. Shouldn't be mad. Anyways, are you done with work now?"
I believe so. Yes.
He claps his
Nobody
hands.
else has heard.
Great. So we're going to Tatiana's. Because he leans over to whisper in your ear, but he whispers really loudly. We
I kind of
need
moved his
to
head away a little bit.
we need to talk about the Riddler.
Oh,
But
man.
shh, don't tell anyone.
Sounds like watching for Zoe's reaction. Like, oh fuck, we just fucking dealt with some of Joker's thugs, the gargoyle. Like, oh, I wonder what she thinks this fucking troop does.
I mean, out of character, it was also, she was kind of there when I was having a phone call with the Riddler.
Shit.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that she's been wanting to do.
This
As
is
far as she's concerned, the Riddler is a menace to the entire city, not just her neighborhood.
exactly.
Okay, so it's not like I'm biting off more than I can chew. It's more like, hey, some big game.
Well, I mean, just she wasn't thinking to go wherever he is and shoot him in the back of the head. But it's like, oh, there's other people looking for him. Excellent. I'll just tag along because apparently they like having me around when she's not flipping out and throwing a grenade at people. Totally not her normal style.
Can I roll wits plus empathy there?
For what?
Probably. But
I'm
she gets
making a
to
joke.
test it. Oh.
That's a lie.
Well, I am. Yes, I'm supposed to be off for work for about half an hour now, but yeah, let me just grab my things and we can get out of my office before someone falls over. It just looks great. And he'll grab his fucking bag, shove some paperwork and a few pencils in there.
If Tal's not like strapped to the friggin' chair, he's already standing and
No,
like
he's
by
not.
the door because people. Yeah, he's like, okay,
Great.
we're done here. This is the doctor's office. Can we not be at the doctor's place? I don't really need people moving my bits.
Onwards and forwards to the bitch's house, he says as he drapes his arm around whoever's nearest by.
That's Zoey.
Oh no!
Drapes his arm around Zoe and starts heading out.
Christian's just gonna
Tal
pat.
is just fuming.
Christian's gonna pat.
she's gonna-
Gonna pat
She's,
Talent.
Zoe's going to look at Talen and she's going to mouth the words, "We're going to the criminal."
He'll just nod no.
Christian's gonna pat Talon on the shoulder and just quietly say, "Let's talk about this. Let's take a day together and talk about this another time."
He turns his head towards you a little bit. Like, I'm assuming you're behind him, and you say this,
Yeah.
and he just kind of like turns his head to the side and nods yes. But when Zoe's like quietly asking, he's already just, you can see his eyes are just slits, and he's like looking downwards, and he just nods no, like he's just fuming.
I just give you like a friendly pat on your shoulder and then move out, and then
Yeah.
hold the door open, wait for everybody else to get out so you can lock the fucking door.
Because as far as Zoe has figured out, Tatiana is like some kind of kingpin or something. She doesn't know.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh man.
So, out of character, I now have a new aspiration, I guess, to convince Zoe that she is a kingpin.
Yes.
Fuck no.
not that that would, not that it would create a
Working
physical,
against me, damn it.
not that it would be a
It's not just
physical
working against
altercation.
you anymore.
Not that it would be a physical altercation, but it's like, ooh, she's some kind of spooky person who can make her bad reputation disappear. That's that's a movie. Like normal people don't do that.
Fair enough. She has that dank power that famous people get. And then if you
Yeah,
Call it money.
Yeah, but also, my dear, I got a new merit.
Ooh,
Even if I do shady shit, it will be hard for you to find out. So,
I
there.
mean, Zoe's not trying to find out. She's not really a detective, but
I mean, half the time we're there.
yeah.
It's not like you just tie something around our eyes every time. Do something shady.
Okay, so Creed leads you all out to his motorcycle, blinks twice, then turns back and makes a show of counting all three of you.
I'm just gonna hit over to
Then
the
turn
car.
back to his motorcycle.
Let me do a timeout real quick because in the follow-up scene, it was only you and Talen at the house. So, continuity.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was on the back of the bike. And
Yeah.
so on.
okay. Well,
I think some of us have a car.
I was going to say, we are essentially overwriting stuff, but we
yeah.
could take the car.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Would you really bring a bunch of people at her house without warning?
If I wasn't high, yeah. No. But hi, Creed.
Actually does whatever the fuck he wants.
let's
Exactly.
Creed.
Also, we've kind of been building up to this scene now, so it's like we'd have to do a lot at this point.
It's not like I just put Zoe in my car and just take her home with me. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of
Yeah.
things none of
Yeah.
us will do.
I mean, you could drive her home. I don't know.
I could, but does she trust to get in the car with a guy she's met for all of 5 minutes?
He's a doctor.
The guy who's supposed to be a doctor, yes,
Yeah.
and
She hasn't
who
actually seen
may or
20
may
bucks
not
for it.
have a gun pointed at him the whole time that he doesn't see. Yes.
I don't see there being any terrible issues bringing other people along, because these sessions are so closely linked together anyway that if you're gonna watch one, you're gonna watch the other one, and this one's coming afterwards, so it's not as though we can't just carry on the way we are, and then anybody who's watching the scenes in order is just gonna get caught up just fine.
No, it's not if it's getting on just fine. It's about how we'll
Continuity.
continue this scene. I don't mean about the next one.
The story.
This is why we
Because-
usually run things in order.
Yeah. So this shit doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, but
Okay, so what exactly needs to happen? What's going on here?
Okay.
Well-
So last night, the scene we did, it ended with Creed and Talen going to Tatiana's house, and Zoey was.
Remember, we like waved, and I was like, "I'm sorry, but I gotta go, cause fuck life." And
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the,
Motorcycle.
and the scene we did this afternoon, Talen was with me. The doctor wasn't really clued in everything, and Lillian went there, and Creed wasn't in the scene, or Zoe.
So, we
but
can
this is
pick up.
before that, isn't it?
What?
Because you said the thing in the museum was like the next night entirely.
Yes. But
So this would be where Creed and Talon are leaving, and Zoe
Yeah.
would also be leaving. So we would pick up after that then.
Yes.
I'm confused.
Basically, insert other scene here. Zoe will join us after museum is after that, and there you go. Pieces are falling together.
Okay, you guys all make the call that Creed is too high to go meet with Tatiana.
No, that's not the
That's
call.
not.
The call
yeah.
is
Okay.
you and Talen comes to Tatiana. The others don't because it wasn't called, and I didn't included it in the scene that we did. That was follow up to this.
Yes,
All right,
this is
well-
Talon and Creed hop
Doesn't
on the
make
bike and go to
sense.
Tatiana's house.
All right.
And me getting lost on the way, I guess. Just decide to take Zoe home and then go home and fucking sleep.
Well, I thought we had more injuries than that, but I figured. You're
I
like,
was
oh, yeah, I've done my
Zoe
job.
came on her own, so
I was and I was injured, but I kind of healed myself.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, basically, it's just insert other scene here essentially, and that's where Creed and Talon are pulling up to Tatiana's, I guess, and then we resolve that, and then we have the night at the museum, and then we're Gucci. A lot of it's already been done already, but right here is the scene where Talon and Creed show up at Tatiana's, and then Talon decides to stay there during the day, I believe, in the guest room.
Yeah.
And you
Okay.
decided to drag Talon along instead of him walking Zoe home because you're like, well, Talon needs to know what's going on, and I'm kind of like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And Zoe doesn't need to know what's going on because
It's well at the time we
Yeah.
only had the motorcycle available because the character that played
probably
his
know
class
what's
wasn't
going on,
around.
but
no, I mean really, Zoe doesn't need to know what's going on.
Fair
I
enough.
mean really.
Not to mention, Creed, that if you want to convince Zoe that Tatiana is a kingpin, I think meeting her would dispel these.
That was me
notions.
making a joke.
Okay, so let's move on to Creed and
I mean, to be fair, if the club was still intact, and if they did bring her into the club to the aviary, where she's sitting around with 3 albino birds, what kind of conclusion do you think Zoe would come to?
Exactly.
All right, guys. So Talon and Creed are pulling up to Tatiana's house on the bike. That's probably Talon's first time on a vehicle of that nature ever. So awkward, but not impossible.
And I want to keep in mind, Creed goes really fast
Oh, that
and
doesn't
is
scare him.
blitzed.
The high part does.
he's high out of his fucking mind, and he's driving and he's speeding.
Yeah,
I
the
was
Hit
speed.
scared of
every
no,
mile
drugs.
twice now. Stop signs are more of a suggestion than the
Yeah.
norm. And that's like the third red light that I have noticed behind us.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
Question,
guys.
look, I can't speak loudly, so please, let's keep it a bit more. Do you even have dots in Drive?
Yes. Of course I do.
I don't.
Are you
So
gonna
you're in for a good
roll
ride,
it?
Zoe.
Yeah, but you're not.
It's Talon.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're not. Yeah, but you're not high and you're not speeding.
You just fed for an hour. That's why he's high.
Well, yeah. So, are you gonna roll Drive? Maybe. I mean, it's raining and you're high and you're.
But
speeding.
rain doesn't actually affect this vehicle.
Bike.
It's a
Uh,
hover
you
bike.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
ride
that's-
motorcycles. What the fuck?
That's true.
But
Yeah.
it affects your vision of
Yeah,
oncoming
but-
traffic.
Yeah, but still, it's night.
How about we try not to kill Talon? Because I still take damage like a human, and we're obviously not wearing seatbelts.
I
so
mean,
we
you
can
can
just
just
cut
turn
to the
back
house.
around. You got my number.
Honestly, I don't. If Brandon wanted me to, I would. But honestly, I don't see why for a scene.
For
For
this
this-
particular part, there's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
driving.
throwing.
It's usually when you do intense maneuvers, trying to lose someone, trying to follow
Yeah.
someone. That's typically what driving.
Yeah, it's not significant to the.
To be fair, though, he is high and speeding.
All right.
Go slow.
Can we just?
Yeah, let's just move it all along.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So we arrive at your house. You hear your doorbell ring, and then someone yo, Tawny!
Yeah, you will probably hear her coming towards the door. and she will open the door.
Once
And
looking at the ground.
Hey!
she will immediately give Creed a hug.
Creed's going to hug her back. Hey, Tawny.
Are you okay?
Well, I was pissed, hurt, shot at, attacked by a giant robot beastie thing. But now I'm high, so I'm good.
Okay,
I'm still pissed at your crazy Razor Girl, Chrome Dome Razor Girl. But you, Tawny, you're an angel.
Oh man.
by the way, maybe you should do a perception check because you're high. Because normally, I think you would have seen that she's in a really, let's say, bad state emotionally. Like
Yeah.
she looks
Actually,
depressed.
that would probably be a wits plus empathy, or wits
Yeah,
plus
it's
empathy.
probably empathy. Yeah, probably empathy. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Like, she is shook.
That's still 2 successes. So he's going to blink and go, Tawny, you okay?
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Just come in. Oh, I'm sorry. No, she notices Talon. By the way.
He's like looking at the ground this whole time. Takes a step back when you guys hug, and he's just like, "Oh, give them their moment."
Oh, forgive me. Talon, please come in. I didn't know you were coming.
Creed's going to drape his arm around Talon to lead him in. Goes, Talon here's the man of the hour.
He tries not to cringe at being wrapped up in this guy's like high mien of yeah.
Yeah, and Tanya will uh gonna hold Creed and lead him inside because damn, he could collapse at any moment at this stage.
Well, at least she was expecting it.
Yeah,
Because Creed did say, I'm eating, then I'll come over.
yeah. I mean, yeah. She'll close the door and lead them to the living room. Can I offer you something, Talon?
Um, actually, and you can see his like eyes light up for a bit, and he's like pondering this. I suppose I'll have a joint, and it's like this weird way of saying it, like he's new to the cool kids club, and he's like, I guess I'll try one of those if that's not offensive.
She's like, she will like cock her head like on the side and like, um, maybe something that I can offer that I have. I don't really.
He kind
Creed,
of chuckles
why-
and nods
why
his head, and
he's-
he's like, I'll just relax then.
Why you're saying that Creed's like digging around in his pocket and then just hands over a joint. Here you go, man.
He'll
Save you
take it, but he won't light it because he knows Creed well enough now that it might not be what he thinks it is.
I mean,
Actually, out of character, I'm just going to point out Creed never spikes a drug.
Well, that's fine. Talon
Yeah.
is kind of new to all this.
Okay.
Though, so.
I mean, yeah. Tatiana will bring over an ashtray and open a window, cause, and she will sit on the couch.
I was saving that one for Anthony, but you can have it.
Are we essentially relaying the events of that night to Tatiana for the next little
Yeah.
while?
So
Yeah.
what exactly happened? I thought you had the guy. That's why I
So the
sent
guy
him.
and me were chilling on the roof, waiting for your psycho bitch. She sews up and goes, "Oh, murder, murder! I'm going to kill you." And you know Majesty can't stop all that, so the guy starts shooting her. She starts running at him with a knife, stabby, stabby. Next thing I know, the guy's flipping out, eyes glowing red, dying, then coming back to life, turning into a giant robot. At the same time, your girl books it and leaves me to clean up the mess. Me and Bob almost handle it, but man, oh man, that thing hurt.
Who's
And then
Bob?
Bob's my friend.
Okay.
Anyways, then Talen shows up, shoots this thing with a arrow. The arrow dissolves and goes blind and blinds the thing or something or something or something. I don't know. And then Bob's able to rip the thing open wide enough so Zoey can get a shot in. And man, oh man, that was an ace shot. Then I have Bob clean up the snipers.
Talon probably blushes a little
Wait,
bit at the whole
snipers?
thing about the nice shot, but he's just like, yeah, that's my
Why were
friend, I think.
snipers there? Why were snipers there?
To
I don't
shoot
know.
people.
You would think.
This was supposed to be clear cut and simple.
Nothing ever is.
I just thought you wanted to talk to the guy and get dirt on the penguin. Or plant him in the penguin organization as a spy to bring him down. Didn't realize you guys were going to go psycho bitch on him. Next time you want to go carry, you guys need to tell me that you're going carry beforehand.
Yes, you're right. I apologize. I didn't know how to say that over phone. I don't exactly trust. Please
That's
tell
why
me.
you say you're going carry. Oh, and you shouldn't trust phones because apparently, I'm pretty sure the Riddler can see through them. Oh, by the way, I got Riddle's address from the Riddler. So yay to that.
How is the Riddler involved in that? Or is it separate? Okay.
Shrugs and says it
I'm
was his
confused.
experiment.
As soon as you say you have an address, Talon kind
Matches
of perks up.
Malone was his experiment? Am I getting this right? And she will actually look to Talen for confirmation because he seems more sober.
He hasn't lit the joint yet, so yeah. I don't know who Matches is, but there was a man.
You never saw the man.
I know. I'm trying to think of.
Alright.
You went to the Fight Club on your own, so all I saw was
Yeah.
the monstrosity that appeared.
So,
But so I can like relay what I saw in that regard. But you're saying Creed's it's essentially up to Creed to verify that it was actually Matches. So
Alright.
Talon just shrugs when you look at him like, when I go out there, shit hit the fan.
So the snipers were sent by the Riddler then.
Creed shrugs.
When are you meeting him?
I think I got 48 hours.
I want
But
to
I don't know if I want to go. Because it's obviously another trap. Because his experiments are kind of getting out of hand. I mean, the creds are sweet and everything.
If you go, I'm coming with you.
Well, I need a team. If we have someone that can restrain him or keep him still, I have an idea.
I might be able to do that.
I'm gonna ask to speak to Tatiana in private once we're done relaying things.
Basically, if we can get him into a room and make sure he can't get out of the room.
Okay, so we have 48 hours. Let's see who we can gather.
Right. the meantime, I'm going to go talk to the Invictus contacts that are bugging me.
Should I come with you? I was given the same contacts by the prince.
You got the text too?
Brandon, did I get a text? I don't
Yes.
think so. Did
I mean, did you get the same text I got last night?
She did.
All right.
Yes. So I guess we'll have to meet this sheriff.
All right. So cool. That isn't a trap. Well, not another trap. Well, it could still be a trap, but it won't be a trap for just me.
Everything related with Invictus must be considered a trap. You can't really trust anyone in there.
Yeah, on the plus side, they've kind of screwed the pooch there because they just gave me a really good precedent to go apeshit. Because if supernatural, that's not really supernatural, that's not really caught on camera, happens near me, that's considered a breach of my masquerade now. So I might as well go full apeshit.
That's what I see is that's an excuse to call it whatever they want. I don't like what they did.
Yeah, I'm fine with the slashing and everything, but Mr. Princey, he's going to get his ass kicked one of these days for that whole blood bond thing. I'm my own man. No one blood bonds the shit out of me.
Well, I personally don't understand why either of this action was necessary, but I guess he works in mysterious ways.
Because wolf boy toys are fun. So I've got to ask,
Yeah.
is it furry down there?
Creed, really?
What?
You might have missed a few episodes.
Oh, he broke up with you.
Yes, and I'm back with Nate.
Oh, major bummer. Guess he wants. I should talk to him about getting that blood bond removed then.
I am actually looking for ways to get it removed.
Well, if you can pay Bianca enough, she might be willing to do it. If you trust her to do it. But she's never been the whole political type.
Well, I don't really trust her because I don't know her that well, but
Well, if you can frame it in a way that it'll make Daddy Dearest pissed off. That getting this blood bond removed would make Daddy Dearest pissed off. Yeah, that's right. She'll gladly do it.
I just want assurances that he won't be harmed in the process. Now, the wording stuff, you can leave that to me. If there's one thing I'm good at, is bullshitting.
That would pay her lots of money.
So, if I can ask real quick, where is everyone in relation to each other? Like, is Tatiana on the couch opposite me and Creed? Are we all on the same couch?
Probably in a way that
Is it like a sectional?
I'd say Talen is probably on an armchair, and
Yeah.
the two are probably on a couch facing each other.
Okay.
We're on couches across from each other, facing each other, or on the same couch.
On the same couch.
Right. Well, Creed's nice and leaned up, spread out. Anyways, we found this awesome sniper.
Oh,
Yeah, about that.
But she's mortal. So I need to find someone to erase her memories.
Talon kind of shakes his head. You've asked me a few times what I
I'm
want,
sure that's necessary.
and Talon like actually stands, and he's like, "This is probably one of the only times you'll actually meet Tatiana's eyes," and he's like, "She has a fearless dream. If I want something, it's so that she can pursue that. Because we're similar, her and I."
Look, I don't have the ability to erase memories. But it's not something that I would do lightly. Are you sure there's no other way?
Well, we can indoctrinate her, get her to sign to non-confidentiality disclosure, or I don't know, make her pinky swear. Look, as long as it doesn't get back to the council or the court or whatever they're called, as long as it doesn't get back to Prince Fuck McGee, I'll have to go through even worse. I say live and let live.
I agree. I wouldn't want to ask for favors of that nature anymore. I'm already overextended.
Oh,
And
Talon
it's
knows
not
that this time.
something that I generally like.
That being
done.
said, if we can slap her with something supernatural, she'll be better protected. Because you can't. Because if the vampires find out Vanilla Jane Mortal knows about vampires, they'll freak. If they find a Vanilla Jane wolf blooded or a Vanilla Jane with a talisman or a Vanilla Jane practitioner knows about the supernatural, well, they can't really freak.
So, this girl is your friend, right?
Talon nods. We've been.
You should totally make her your girlfriend. That way they can't freak because you're supernatural and you're dating her, and therefore you're all good.
But that's not.
What if we ghouled her without a bond?
Talon. I know what ghouls are, but Talon doesn't. So he's just kind of giving you this quizzical look. But
Or I know,
when you
I
said
know,
that it's all Gucci when she's his girlfriend, he's like, "But I'm responsible for all of it."
I know. You should totally hire her for your club. If she's your personal secretary, they can't freak out. As long as it doesn't get into the public.
He's already like shaking his hands, like.
Look, I have no issue employing people as long as they have qualifications. Apart from being a sniper.
I mean, I'll take her if you don't want her.
He's still shaking his hands, like, I don't know if that's better or worse.
You can send her so I can talk to her. And
I can fire her a text.
I mean, she's hanging out with the good doctor right now, last I saw.
Indeed. If you want her to make her own case, and he's already like got his phone out, and he's like, maybe this isn't the place.
Well, yeah. How about when are we meeting the sheriff?
I don't know. Out of character, I assume either probably like Thursday because Brandon.
Okay, so we have a few days. Okay, so I'm assuming in game would be before the Riddler meeting, right?
Yes.
So
We want to meet him beforehand.
yeah, so within 48 hours we have to do that. So I guess I can say that we can meet the girl tomorrow evening or something like that. Or
Before we go to the museum or after?
after.
Okay. We can
No,
probably.
no. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a museum thing, and oh shit. Okay. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it live. Sorry, we're gonna do it today.
We're
Yeah,
going
may as
to.
well just do it, and then we can just say that scene comes after. So
We can text the doctor and go, dude, where are you? To have the doctor show up with her in tow.
Yeah.
push right to production. Who needs testing?
I mean, the doctor knows where the house is because he's been here before.
But he got lost on the way. That's why he didn't show up at the scene originally.
Anyway, I'll also text Zoe to let her know that it's okay to come with him. He's helped me twice now. But that way she doesn't answer the door with a gun at his face.
But yeah, usually employment is the best way to avoid anyone asking any questions, let's say.
She's under my protection, to be clear.
I understand.
Creed, please tell me you're not texting the guy driving.
But as for you, Talen, you've already done work for me. You've already helped out a lot, and you helped my brother tonight.
Talon doesn't understand. So he does understand blood bonds, but he's never heard of ghouls or masquerade necessarily yet. Outside of we don't do that shit here because this person owns it. So, in character, he's kind of asking like, yeah, she's under my protection. Nobody fuck with her. If we can figure out a way that she can coexist with us, great. That's all. That's essentially what he's asking. He doesn't know what ghouls are, but he's asking if, because you're the most outstanding member of society right now, so that he's met. So that's why he's asking you if there's a way that they can coexist.
That's what we're trying to achieve here.
You know, and he's trying to be respectful, but at the same time assert like don't fuck with this.
It's just if we make her associated with her, she's Gucci. If she's associated with me, well, that's bad. Well, not
Why?
worse, but not horrible, if you get my meaning. Because I'm me, and her leader doesn't like me. And for some reason, we all have to bow to him, which is complete bullshit. Because you should never bow to someone. Well, you should never bow to someone unless you're under mental compulsion to. But anyways, but he likes her. So if he likes her, then she's associated with her, then she will be good.
Oh,
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, the last sentence like tied it together because he wouldn't want her to be associated with Creed anyway, because drugs and crazy shit goes on around him. But that's why he was asking her, and then you kind of explained that. So, but that's also kind of an answer of why she can't just be associated with Talen straight up, I guess.
Oh, if she's associated with Talen, just Talen, that's all good because you're your own thing.
Okay, so like the prince isn't gonna freak out at me for breaking masquerade, mostly vampires. I'm in the same city, but his jurisdiction, like he might just contact the Apex or find his own.
Yeah, he doesn't really have power over other species.
Well, I try to be fairly conscientious anyway.
So, did the good doctor see his text?
I'm driving and I have no point in driving. Do you think I'm looking at my phone?
I thought we were. I wasn't texting. I never texted the good doctor. I thought Talen was texting.
Yeah, I did text Zoey.
Well, then it's up to Zoey whether I'm turning around.
But you know the way.
Yeah, but apparently I got lost or decided to drive her home first or something.
I have an important question.
Yes.
I have a really important question here. Is it over the bridge and through the woods?
What is this, Road to Terabithia now?
No. It's that old poem. It's that old poem. Over the bridge and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh deep into the snow.
Why is this even relevant?
It's not.
Because clearly Tatiana is the grandma. She's old enough.
I'm not old enough to be a grandma. I'm 50, okay?
That's old enough.
That's old enough.
Look at it this way. My parents, for several generations now, had their kids at like 16, 17. So like I was able to see my great grandfather for a bit.
Yeah, but that's not normal, okay?
But we're saying it's possible. Like 50 compared to 30 is fine.
Potential grandma, yes, but don't call me
In America, it's normal.
Yeah.
Because America, fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck. I just hate everything about that.
But over here in Europe, we have sex education and
just really shitting on them today.
Well, guess what?
I never said I was proud of where I live.
I don't know any Americans that I'm friends with.
Yep.
Is this is this gonna clown shoes, or are you guys gonna keep doing so?
Yeah. We're kind of waiting on Zoey to say anything, literally. Whether she's coming or not.
They're inviting her out the night after?
No.
You're literally on the way home with Klass. We've been talking for a while after the clinic, and Talen's kind of fighting for your place in supernatural society, and we were like, well, how about she makes her own case too then?
I was just thinking for continuity, it would have been better to move a night forward, but that's just me.
Yeah, next night is already complete.
Yeah, we're kind of doing this in between two scenes. That's why it probably seems weird.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Yeah, she would accept that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's skip the driving and let's go to the doorbell then.
All right, now there.
Exactly.
The power of storytelling. So,
sorry.
So,
I'll get out the car, open the door for Zoey because I'm a gentleman. And because it's my car and it's shitty and old.
Well, thank you. She kind of steps on out and has a look around.
You're welcome.
You're in a rich neighborhood.
Tom would probably go to the door of Tatiana's house and open it when he hears the car pull up. Because it's like a completely unfamiliar place, and I just made her drive with some unfamiliar person, so it's like, it's okay,
cool.
guys.
It's cool. I had a gun to the back of my head the entire ride and didn't even notice. It's fine.
Well, it'd be pretty easy to see just looking at Zoe that she has not been in a neighborhood this rich before. Eyes are wide, and she's looking up and down the street like, are they all 3 stories? Do they all have this, like that kind of look on her face?
They all have a backyard with actual greens in it.
To be fair, the house that you're looking at, that you're going to, is not that big. This is the house. It's a fairly small Victorian house.
Okay, so it's a small mansion. That's fine.
It literally screams vampire
Yeah.
as bats fly by.
Might as well write it on the wall.
Why, man? It's just,
It's Victorian.
All right, she has that single dot in a cult. Don't push my luck.
whatever. Okay. Like, compared to the other houses around, it's smaller.
Are they all
So,
Victorian then? Like, you don't
how-
stand out?
No, they're not all Victorian.
Okay.
Talen should open the door, and Tatiana should just glide to the entrance and go, welcome.
Wearing that
Oh
fancy
my
black thing.
What is this, Hotel Transylvania?
Welcome to Transylvania.
Wonderful. The house is haunted.
Fucking character Brandon's gonna spank us.
Yeah.
Everyone take 1 aggravated damage. No.
Creed's actually trying to convince Tatiana to wear that a slim bag black dress that flows out at the bottom for the
Hey, guys.
entire time they're driving over.
I don't mean to sound like a douche, but if you're going to chit chat, then we can end the session here, and you guys can just do off-topic talk, or we can continue the scene.
Yeah. Okay.
So Tatiana will go at the door as well, because she's the hostess, obviously.
Talon's already got the door open. I'm assuming Zoe and the doctor are walking up. And he just kind of... He's got one hand on the door and one on the door frame. And then as Tatiana comes up, he lowers the one on the frame and he's like, welcome. It's just like, sorry.
So
He's got that awkward look.
how did the text message actually go?
Well, you presumably weren't getting a ride home from the doctor or something of that nature. So I would have said, don't worry about him. He's helped me. He's a friend. Don't worry. He's a friend. However, you should be present for this. And that's kind of essentially how it boils down.
So no information at all, pretty much.
Nothing at all. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't just say we're fighting for your supernatural position in a text to a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he might frame it. He might frame it about like we're trying to talk about the thing.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess I can say something that alludes to it, and
Or
you'll
we're
pick
trying
it
to
up.
get you a job, which is pretty accurate.
That's fair. All right. Don't worry. He's a friend. You should be present. It's about that night. Because that's fairly innocuous, right? Like, I don't think anyone's gonna...
It's fairly vague, but yeah, that'll work.
Well, really, though, like, when I say that night, I think it's... Or, I guess I can't say that night, because this is the same night, so it's about that, basically.
So now she's looking from Talen to someone very nicely dressed, very elegant, and someone that pairs off with the house pretty well. And that wide-eyed look is still going on.
Hound sort of gestures towards the interior of the house, and as you come close, he won't like grab your shoulder or anything, but like he's got his hand close to your back, not pushing you, just kind of trying to be like a comforting presence. Because he realizes that this is a whole new kind of, just like him first entering Gotham, right? So he kind of like relates with it, and he's like, yeah.
And she doesn't really stop or anything, but she's like, you got to think about personal spaces. You know that?
Good evening. You must be Zoe.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm Mr. Tatiana Kravchenko. Nice to meet you. She will extend a hand.
It's nice to meet you too, I think. And she'll shake your hand.
Please come in. Dr. Klass.
And she's
Good to
looking at
see you
Talen
again.
and she's like, do I call her mistress? Do I call her your majesty? What do I do?
Please
When
call
she
her
when she introduces herself, he'll nod on the word Tatiana.
Okay. So I suppose she'll step in.
Yes. Dr. Klass. Good to see you again. Please,
You too.
join us.
It's very nice too. Well, see you all on during my nighttime. I hope we're not disturbing.
Oh no, my dear, don't worry about that. You're
At
the
that-
least disturbing presence.
At that point, you guys hear loud music coming from the living room. Because I assume Tatiana has a radio of some sort.
Fucking gramophone.
Okay, no, I doubt that. The architecture may be,
She probably has a gramophone, but as a decoration, not something that works. Yeah, let's be real.
Close enough.
Probably has like an actual Bluetooth player.
Probably. Yeah. She will go back in and turn it down because it's in the middle of the night.
Dude, I was listening to that.
We really don't need attention in the middle of the night.
here I was assuming he was going to be dancing around or whatever, but okay.
Oh, he was dancing around when she came in and turned it down.
Please have a seat. Can I offer you anything?
Oh, Creed's here.
A glass of water,
Yay.
please.
Hey, Zoey. Or, hey, Zoey! Long time no see! It was like, what, like 2-3 hours ago? Felt
Yes,
like
yes, it was.
weeks.
She's kind of like backing up in her seat, which isn't very effective.
What did is Creed like in her face or?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go bring water. And did Zoe ask for anything?
Water's fine.
I mean, yeah, but water is just water.
That's all the good doctor drinks.
Yeah. He's not a hypocrite doctor. He's a doctor.
He's not the kind of doctor that drinks out a gallon of coffee a day.
Okay.
She will go and bring a pitcher of water and 2 glasses for them. 3 glasses, because probably Talen wants some water too after blazing.
He hasn't lit it. He hasn't lit it yet.
He will at some point.
He's just stashing. But yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Creed and Talen are telling me that you are skilled and that I should hire you.
You're really playing up the kingpin thing.
but here's the thing.
She needs other uses besides just sniping.
I actually don't really need the sniping at all. It's,
Leans over to her and goes, she's got, or leans over to Zoe and goes, she's got that covered.
Talon just bristles, and he's like, and he doesn't say anything, but you can tell like he's. I just wanted her to be able to coexist. I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to just hand Tatiana another.
I
And he
thought
doesn't. He thinks of it as almost like a slave, but it's the.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to talk to her right now and see if she wants to go further down the rabbit hole.
Doctor just smiling politely and watching this all happen.
I mean, we don't really need to hire her or anything if she's, you know.
well,
And waggles my eyebrows at that.
what is the safest thing to do? You yourself suggested employment, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but I was high back then.
You sober up fast.
No, my guy's still clearly high.
Oh, okay.
You still are, Creed.
Yes, but this is a different high. Well, it's the same high, but a different level of the highness. You see, highness is like an onion. It has many infinite layers.
I'm trying to help you here. Can't you just give me something solid, maybe?
First question first. You. Yes, little you. I'm pointing to Zoe.
So now
Do
I'm the
you-
little one.
Want to take the red pill or the blue pill?
Okay, I think I'm beginning to connect a few dots here.
Would you like to
Crazy.
go further down the rabbit hole and see what reality is really like? Or do you want to go back to living your little life, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, spying on drug deals?
I already fell down the rabbit hole once. It was not fun.
Yeah, to be fair, her introduction was pretty rough.
Yeah. And you managed to climb back out. This time, if you go back...
I didn't actually. I kind of just... It was weird. It was really weird.
Trust me. You as you means you climb back out. Once you go back down, there's no going back.
Alan's like gauging Zoe's reaction.
So, if you're going to tell me that the weird dream that I had when I was younger wasn't a dream, then that's what your group investigates or whatever? This is some kind of like one of those smoky back room groups?
Well, I can't see your dreams, so I have no idea what you're talking about there. As for what this is and who we are, well, it's either I tell you and you go down the rabbit hole, or we just give a smile and nod and send you on your way. And you forget this entire thing ever happens.
Talon breaks in just for a second, but you'll still have our respect, because...
Oh, no, don't worry about that. You're a crack shot. And I appreciate a crack shot when I see a crack shot.
I thought this was about the thing that we saw because
Oh, it's
I've-
It is.
exactly about that thing we saw.
I've seen something like it before, is what I'm trying to say, and you're all acting kind of weird about this. I mean, it is weird.
Okay, I'm sorry about
Talon's acting like
all
his usual
this.
self.
If
You seen a robot gargoyle before?
I've seen something like it before.
here's the thing,
Should I
There are-
just tell my story and maybe you can all make a decision from that? Is that what I should do?
I think that would be a brilliant idea.
yes, I think that's the
Ooh,
best course.
story time. Turns off the music completely and comes sit down cross-legged in front of her.
Oh my god.
And
We need popcorn.
Creed is such a bean. When you
Talon's
die.
probably gonna sit on the arm of whatever armchair she's on, or maybe we're on a couch together, but either way.
It's not a very long story, but yeah, it was weird. I was still living back in Japan with my family. I was younger. I was probably 7 or 8. And I was, well, I guess I was practicing back then. I used to climb a lot of trees, and I'd get up on top of buildings or sheds or whatever I could climb up on top of. And it was a lot of fun. Mostly because my parents didn't approve. But now and again, if I could find something that was close enough to the ground, I could jump off of the building and then land in a pile of leaves, or maybe someone had some garbage laying around, or it wasn't very smart, but it was mostly safe. And one day I was trying to find 2 different roofs that were close enough that I could jump across them. And I was practicing and and well, it looked like you could do it. It looked like it was close enough, but when I actually jumped off the roof, it didn't make any sense. It was like I was moving forward, but I wasn't going anywhere. And then eventually, I ran out of momentum. So I just fell down. But then down wasn't down anymore. I don't know what I fell into, but I don't think I was meant to find it. It was some kind of tube. I mean, that's just the general outline of it. I fell into it, whatever it was, and nothing made sense. Light didn't work the way it was supposed to. There was weird shapes everywhere. It was kind of like looking through a kaleidoscope. I think it was making energy of some sort because it got very hot. And for a minute there, it was like an oven. And yeah, for a second, I thought I was going to die because I didn't really know what it was or what it was trying to do. But I guess I must have got to the bottom end of it because I bounced off I guess you could call it a wall, once or twice. I was burned pretty badly. And then I was on the ground. But I do remember seeing gears. I do remember seeing things on the inside of it like it was some kind of machine. Things like the inside of whatever it was.
That sounds like you've had a very interesting experience.
I mean, we already know Talen's decision. He was the one that brought up being foreless in the first place. So
So, if I understand correctly, you've had an experience that let you see that perhaps there is a bit more to the world than is obvious.
Brandon, can I roll intelligence plus occult?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what I know what this is, like, it sounds very familiar.
you and like anybody who has a specialty in the God Machine would be able to roll, but I don't know about you because you're a different kind of demon.
Exactly, that's why I'm asking.
I got 3 successes.
Damn.
Brandon, what's the verdict?
Klaus, go ahead and roll as well.
Why am I rolling?
Intelligence plus occult.
That's gonna be a low number.
A doctor with low intelligence. I wouldn't.
Probably just not an
wouldn't dare.
occultist.
Yeah,
It's a
probably low in
4.
occult.
What's
Fair
this?
enough. I mean,
You
Okay.
got a success.
So both Creed and the Doctor, neither one of you has Lore God Machine, but you both kind of remember instances where you may have seen something like this, but for whatever reason, at least with Creed, when you try and remember it, it doesn't seem to come very fully. It's blurry and you can't quite picture it. Klaus, when you try and remember it, you remember very similar incidents that she is describing. You don't remember what they were or why you were seeing them, but maybe they were dreams, maybe they were something else, but you have seen something to what she is describing.
Sounds legit.
Nice.
I believe that is very legit. I've seen similar in the past. No, not quite sure when.
Klaus,
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
I swear he still goes a little heavy with that.
Yeah, I didn't understand a word.
I did.
okay.
I understand computer apparently.
Okay.
Thematically appropriate. He looks around, like his face doesn't
Klaus.
really like
Mhm.
show surprise, but he still looks around like, okay, there's us.
Klaus, would you roll me a willpower plus faith, please?
Sure. My daily faith or my full faith?
Whatever your faith currently is at, however many points you have in the moment.
For this scene, I would be at full 5 because I haven't used any faith this day. Daily is 5, so this faith plus willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Say?
Mm-hmm.
E. That's gonna be a high number. I just need math to work for a second here. Don't number blind person trying to do math. It's gonna go great. Okay. Willpower. I think I'm just rolling a straight 10 here. Oops. Wasn't what I wanted to do. That's 3 10s.
4, 5, 6. So that's
Wow.
6. That's pretty dang good. What's your current torment at?
My rank is 4. My points are 2.
So your points are 2. So that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minus 2. So 8, 7. So you get 7 hits. That's an exceptional success.
Whoop whoop.
You feel an urge. You feel something like try to take over your mind, but you resist it rather easily. You think it may have been that little voice.
Klaus looks very disturbed. Like he just, like something weird just fucking happened. Even though, like, basically looking like he's seen the fucking devil. He's not. Like,
You
Klass,
okay?
you okay there, buddy?
Yeah, I think so. That was something is wrong. Very, very wrong.
Like goat cheese on steak wrong, or like end of the world wrong?
Like, if I didn't have self-control, this rook could be dead wrong.
Talon's Talon was already near Zoe and Creed's right in front of her, so he's not freaking out, but at the same time he's like, why?
Creed's going to edge back from Klass a little.
he's like holding up his hands and just like, I'm not doing anything. More as a security to himself, and that he can see his hands aren't doing anything, than to help you guys.
What happened?
I'm not sure. It's it's not something I've felt quite anything quite like before. It's very disturbing.
Will you be okay?
I believe so, yeah. Whatever happens, like I said, it's self-control. I seem to keep it out, I suppose. Or down, maybe.
We all have things that we need to keep back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal the floor, I suppose.
Yeah,
I was just caught by surprise.
Talon will turn to Zoe and kind of,
I mean, none of your harm. I will be clear on that.
he kind of shrugs and he's like, well, I believe you've been asked a question. Are you okay hanging around us?
If you're telling me that the thing I saw is real and that the monster we were dealing with was real, and there's a chance I can get answers, yeah, I'll stick around.
When you keep bringing up the word real, and since he's sitting next to you, this is like the only time he's touching someone, but he's like, he just pinches your arm, like, I'm pretty sure you're, because you brought up dreaming, and he's like, pretty sure you're awake. You're here.
I mean,
Zoe, you have to also come to terms with the fact that there are many, many other things that are real.
one step at a time, right?
I don't want to be
Indeed. But be
raining on
prepared.
anyone's parade, but I'm not sure this is a good idea.
Of course it's not a good idea. It was terrifying.
Yes, and pardon me, but I don't want you to be exposed to things that might harm your psyche or your physical body as a doctor.
It's a little late for that. Besides,
Well, there's always
Any-
room for change. You can never. It's never a be all end all when it comes to experimenting.
Creed slowly
Friend.
raises his hand and goes, well, I don't really think the keeping her physically safe is going to help if we keep her out of this, because when we met her, she was jumping on rooftops with a rifle, hunting bad guys.
Yeah, she is predisposed to this lifestyle. And he says that like as nice as he can, because he does the same fucking thing basically. So.
What I'm trying to say is, for 2 years after that, people said I was crazy. And if you're trying to tell me that I'm not crazy, then yeah, I want to know more.
You
Went robot.
definitely are not crazy. That doesn't mean that
What you saw was real, perhaps.
learning things that might. Okay, let's just say that you might not be crazy now, but you might become crazy.
This,
Okay, well,
yeah.
it's her decision. So,
And
rabbit
so
hole?
you know
No
the
rabbit hole.
risks, Creed.
It's not just her decision, though. We have to choose whether we're gonna expose her to this or not. That's still. Well,
It's
if
not
she
just
says yes, but the
exposure.
rest of us say no, it's still not gonna happen.
Well, we've got 2 out of 4 of us that are already like, it's either up to her or we're for it.
Yes.
It's a big responsibility for every one of us in here.
Yes. And I am not comfortable with exposing people as young as her to this sort of deal. I know that seems very.
How old is Zoe?
She is very close to 20 years old.
Ah,
And I don't mean this because I do know I look young, but plastic surgery does a lot of things. It's
Creed's just going to look over at you weirdly.
mortal in the room. I'm not gonna. He's on his side. I'm not telling her shit, so he's not gonna tell her. Oh yeah, I don't age.
That's fair, I guess.
The wonders of modern medicine.
Yes. Wonders. What do you think I
Alright.
use all my money for? Sure, why not? It's
Well, she did say that she's like she made a decision, and then we said, well, you might go crazy, but I think she's gonna stick
And
with
her
that decision.
takeaway is like, what? Standing on a bridge with a sign, the end is nigh, crazy, or what?
yes, or be in a
No,
padded
I
room for
mean-
the rest of your life. Crazy.
Your mind might break.
More padded room than
Your
Oh,
soul
It-
might break.
It can
Science.
wear you down.
But
That's
don't
all
worry.
I was gonna say.
I have drugs for that.
Until
No,
Creed
you
says that, Jesus. It'll wear you down, Creed. I have drugs for that, Talen. But we don't talk about those.
That's another thing. If you're a vigilante, maybe. Well, as you clearly just heard, a lot of people in that sort of world are criminals. How are you going to deal with that?
That's what she probably should know, because it's better for her to know about what she's getting into while she's playing vigilante.
Well, if she's
Then-
running around hunting
Difference.
bandits, that's usually still.
Yes,
Still
there's a difference between going after
regulars.
some goons and there's a difference between going after what we're going after.
Yes.
But these things are dangerous, aren't they?
Indeed.
They are, and well, I have a personal interest in everybody's health. I don't want to see anyone getting hurt in any sort of way, really. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
some are more vulnerable than others.
Talon shoots the doctor a look. Like, I've got this covered, but at the same time, thanks for healing me earlier.
It's like
Creed's going to
specifically the
shrug and
Talen
say, well, she can go after all the goons she wants, but the one goon that doesn't turn out to be a goon.
Well, hopefully she's a good shot then.
That's
I mean, I knew a goon who was a goon. Turned out it was a giant robot.
Yes, what was that about? You keep mentioning that.
That's what hurt me so bad.
Well, she wanted me to get Matches Malone.
Who?
Big criminal guy that works for the Penguin. Because apparently Tani's security or whatever, some crazy bitch in blue who has a quicksilver knife or something that goes murder, murder, stabby, stabby. And like a lot. I mean, I've seen blood, and man, oh man, Psycho Bitch doesn't even just begin to describe it. Anyways, so Tani wanted me to get Matches Malone. So I got Matches Malone, thinking it was for questioning. Only Psycho Bitch shows up instead. Starts trying to go stabby stabby on Malone while Malone's trying to shoot back. Stabby stabby works and then breaks off, and suddenly the guy's swarming with little silver robots. He starts sprouting off about his master and God, and then suddenly we've got no more Mr. Malone, and instead we've got giant gargoyles with wings. Giant robot gargoyle with wings.
What did he call his god? Did he say anything? Or did he just say god?
Elf character, I think he just said master.
Yeah, he just said master.
Then Chrome Dome decides to run off and leaves me to the fight. So I call Bob out just about the time these two come along.
Zoey looks absolutely mortified. I shot an angel?
I never said an angel.
Why would you think you shot an angel?
Well, if he was talking about God, that's an angel, right? Right?
Well, it depends on what god it was.
Humans have religion still.
Just because he says God doesn't mean he's invoking the big G.
He could just be a Christian.
I mean,
That's
it could
the
be.
logical step in the way, not angel.
I mean, it could be an angel. It could be. I mean, there's gods that a god he could have been calling on a Sumerian god and raising like a jinn or something. It could have been a.
Okay, that's a lot of big words. But then again, it didn't really look like an angel. Didn't act like an angel either. So,
It looked like a giant clockwork gargoyle.
Do you mean that you know what an angel acts like?
okay, yeah, I'll admit maybe that didn't make any sense.
This is a poker face of his fucking life over here.
Jeez.
Anyways, so Bob wrestled it to the ground. He, and points to town, shot with shadow arrow or something.
He
While
just
the
nods. He's not going to argue with this.
Yeah. Shadow arrow went zoom, and the thing went, I can't see, and was like looking around but couldn't see because there was stuff in its eyes.
Makes sense.
So I ran up and punched it in the head. And then Bob ripped it open, and she did a good shot and shot the thing in the head. And then it exploded, and nanites started leaking out everywhere, and it was all ill. And then I was distracted by the Riddler's phone call. The end. Oh,
Alan's gonna ask
and
about
I
the
had
funny farm,
Oh, and then I had Bob hunt down the snipers.
And did the big robot thing just disappear, or did it die? What happened to it?
You found something, right?
It kind of ate itself, I think. That's what it looked like.
The nanites ate it.
That's
Well,
not good.
In
No,
any case,
that's very not good.
what you saw was something that, well, you wouldn't expect.
I know, especially if it sinks down into the abandoned factory and gets into the chemicals. That's how the Joker was made, you know.
Oh, doesn't mean we might be able to save it.
Creed, please, one thing at a time. We have things
But-
to worry about.
But we
Should we
might have
go the
nanite
Joker?
jokers.
No, no.
Just shaking my
prefer
head.
the
at the
Joker.
moment.
Scrap metal Joker?
No, real Joker.
Let's just stay on topic, shall we?
Yeah.
Because this young lady's probably in shock by now after all these revelations.
How are you feeling?
Do you need something to help?
Not
I
a lot
offer
of
you a
this.
joint.
Not a lot of this is making sense.
Yes, that's the issue with come from the outside. It doesn't for many on the inside as well.
Talen is kind of there, but he's gonna actually put his hand on her shoulder, and in a very, I'm gonna wait till my roommate's done in the washroom. Jeez, if you guys can hear that, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
So how are you all liking High Creed?
Stay in character, damn it!
He is, and that's the problem.
What?
He just went into third person. He got so high he went he went narrator.
Look, Creed went for the most inoffensive drug he could think of.
That's fair.
Well,
So-
sorry. I can say this. If you really want to learn what's going on, well, it wouldn't be the first time I would have to explain in a way that you would be able to digest it. But you have to understand the risk involved, both for you and for us. And if you insist on going along with it, I'm more than willing to enlighten you about some things. Not all of things. At least not all at once.
I think one or two things would be enough for tonight.
Okay. Well,
Good.
if,
Ooh, can I do the big one?
So the dream that I had was obviously not a dream. Fine. The thing that we got rid of is apparently related to it somehow.
Yes.
Fine. What else then?
I can tell you what that thing, I can tell you what that thing probably is. I didn't see it unfortunately, but I've got a educated guess, let's say. But if you want to know, of course. Otherwise, I'll just tell when you're not around.
Oh, when you're ready.
I could tell you what I am.
I can tell you the big thing.
The big thing that you obviously don't have a connection to?
Huh? No, the big thing about everything.
No,
All your worst nightmares are true. No.
Creed.
Literally everything you could possibly imagine is real. Done. No.
Yeah, that would be
Alright,
changing
guys.
one thing at a time.
So, what goes bump in the night? All those stories you've ever heard? Everything that you thought was myth or folklore? All that is real.
Well, it's based on reality.
Yeah,
It's,
Semantics.
yeah.
Loosely based.
the supernatural is real. It's alive. It's out there kicking.
Okay, I mean, sure, the thing that I fell
Yeah.
into, the monster that we saw, fine, that statement follows.
And everyone here is one.
Talent, but
And now we're
We're-
back to that expression again.
hold on.
And everybody
But,
here goes bump in the night now.
I don't think that this approach is the most appropriate, and the same goes for you, Creed.
Talent agrees. And when
Well, if we're gonna stop there, and she's looking at Creed, we are gonna stop there. That's probably enough. Then that's more than one or two things. She's looking into her back pocket where she put those drugs Creed gave her, and she kind of pulls one out, and she just kind of
You
pops
didn't
that.
need to do that.
does she even know what she got from Creed?
Uppers.
Oh,
He
okay.
gave her uppers.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. I
I'm
can
pretty
actually-
sure I do. It's fine. Just give me a second.
It's a lot to take in. Drugs at home. Oh god.
Actually, what's your resolve plus? What was it?
Supernatural tolerance for majesty.
No, I'm not using majesty. I'm using dominate.
Oh,
I'm going to calm her down. The dominator to calmness.
I thought we said one thing at a time.
oh no, no.
Yeah, let's
Come on.
not.
Dominate is
Literally
last-
brainwashing her.
You won't know.
The rest
That's
of us
not-
will.
Actually, dominate is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Usually. Kinda.
Not
Also, it slowly breaks their mind too if you do it a lot.
Yeah. Majesty is nice and subtle.
yeah, but majesty requires more steps.
I know, but that's why. It's so nice and subtle. It's just the gradual rise.
So you got her resolve of 3, her composure of 3, her supernatural
no.
resistance of 1, and her indomitable of 2.
Just resolve and the supernatural resistance and
That's what he just-
and the indomitable. So how much is that?
Oh man.
3 resolve, 1 supernatural resistance, and the 2 from indomitable.
So 5.
So 5.
Think.
I have
6.
3, 4, 6 actually.
6.
Six.
Hey, I was close.
It's gonna be a close call, but let's try it. Shit.
So you roll your full dice set, then she rolls.
Yes.
Oh, so Andromeda will give him 2 dice if he has to roll to contest.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 5 dice.
No, it's still 6.
Yeah.
How is it 6?
Because she
Andromeda
has,
only
a dot of,
goes.
she
oh.
has a dot of supernatural resistance.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be close.
We're all bad at math
Very
today.
close. Okay,
Dude.
so I got 4 successes.
Come on, Rexford.
Well, defender wins.
Back.
So,
We both have one
Actually, no, because here's the thing. You rolled it with counting your 10s2. She rolled it, or Rexford rolled it with the 10s actually exploding. So he only got 3 successes.
What's
Yeah.
the difference? What's the 10 exploding?
So
Technically, they got 3 in total.
because technically you're supposed to re-roll dice, re-roll your 10 successes, right?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, and Rexford put in to auto re-roll that 10 when he got a success.
Yep.
So he only got 3 successes, while you use Brandon's rule where your 10 counts as 2. So you win.
Yeah. That
Yeah, but shouldn't we be using the same kind of?
that's
Well,
Should
it's
be.
up and it's the same anyways.
In all honesty,
no, not at all.
I mean, Rex, you're welcome to do that.
I would suggest you reroll using the same rules as everyone else.
I thought we were all doing the. Well, okay. I mean, you guys can vote as players which rule you want to do. I already set that as a house rule earlier, so.
I'm fine with 10's count as 2. It's a little bit stronger, but then we're not sitting there constantly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that way you got 4 and she got 4, so it's a draw.
No, because if we
Oh,
count
right. Yeah, yeah.
that way, he would have only got 3 successes.
Okay.
So
And
it's
she would-
the same result either way.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
So do I win then?
This time.
Okay, so I will look
That's
her
so
in the
almost.
eye and I will tell her, calm down. Just that, calm down.
My spidey sense is tickling.
And that's when I mark Tatiana.
I suppose she will, seeing as she is compelled. I'm not entirely. I'm not familiar with disciplines in 2E.
She gets she gets a couple words anyway.
With vampire, you're just using
Oh, you still
the
have to
first.
inflict the
No,
mesmerize condition.
Yeah.
I'm just using the mesmerize. I'm not gonna do anything more than that. It just shows you won't take the drugs much.
I mean, she already had the drugs in her mouth. You didn't order her to not take the drugs.
You just ordered her to calm down.
Yeah, but before that,
Well, it's her
wait, don't do it. That was
But
before.
So yes, Majesty's nice and passive, and it lets you do a little bit more in that sense. But Dominate is pretty specific about what you're capable of.
if you tell her don't take the drugs, she won't take the drugs. But you just told her calm down.
Well, yeah, if I told her don't take the drugs, that wouldn't have the effect I wanted to have. So I would have to do even more in
Just
order
as a
to calm her
note,
down.
unless you get an exceptional success with the mesmerize, you can't command her this turn. But even if you were to I'll check up the condition. But if we're not using terms, then theoretically you could issue more than one command than just calm down or don't take the drugs.
But I'm
But
just
the
saying
order you do it in would still matter.
she had already put the pill in her mouth, so she's probably still takes the drug.
That's true, yeah. Never mind.
Did she do that?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
you did it. You
I
did it in
mean,
response to that. So yeah,
Oh, what?
that's what I was under the impression of. You did it in response to her grabbing this pill and popping it.
No, I thought she was just taking it out of the pocket or something.
I mean, it doesn't take long to. It's not like she's fishing for it or anything. She just grabs it and pops it.
Well, that's a waste then. Then let's scrap it. She already took. There's no point in doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so scrap it. Forget the last 5 minutes happened. Take your drugs.
Doctor's orders.
No.
Still, Talen. Okay, so we're fine then.
The opposite of Dr. Soros. Never take drugs. Don't do it.
Except these anesthetics. No.
Look what
Okay,
they did to
let's carry
Creed.
on. Oof.
He used to be a nice little. He used to be a nice boy.
I don't believe that
All
using
right.
drugs will have anything here. You need to have a clear head.
If she's taking a stimulant, she should still have a clear head, I think.
Depends on the kind.
Well, that's true, but I don't
Well,
think Creed would send her off the deep
okay,
end.
guys,
Uh,
we can't be arguing semantics all the time. We have to stay in character.
Yeah, out of character.
It's
I'm
been
just
2
going to
hours.
say this. The drug I gave her was what she asked for. And all she asked for was something to help her focus.
This is true.
So an upper that helps her focus.
Now that taking possibly illegal drugs is over and I'm ignoring them, for the time being, I'm still going to check you out later to make sure you're not having any adverse effects, if you don't mind. I do need to talk to you guys about what you saw, and if she can't take any more nights of revelations, maybe we should do this in private.
I agree.
I hand Zoey e- earplugs.
All right.
Just have those on your body.
You know how hard it is to nap under a train station?
I can't say I've ever tried. I have a, well, not a bed, I have a couch.
Well,
Does
Um,
Zoe pop them in, or
All right, so we're just going to herd Zoe out, or what are we going to do? Out of character. So we can go on with the scene.
Well, we can't really dump all the shit that are happening on her first
Yeah.
night of
Yeah,
realizing that
so we're going to have her sit outside or sit somewhere else to go process what she's learned. Then
I mean,
we're
it's a,
going.
it's a
actually,
large enough house. We don't have to like kick her out in the
Yeah.
rain.
yeah,
you
no.
can just
What
throw
I'm
her into
thinking
another
is we could leave Zoe and Talon in the living room and we can go to the study and we can tell Talon later.
Okay.
That would make sense because leaving her alone with all this shit wouldn't be a good idea.
It would be a little rude anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if she is fully mesmerized and you told her to go.
No, that didn't happen.
We scrapped it.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, you had already taken the pill that I didn't notice. So
You could ask her to go in the other room. I guess she would.
no, we're not gonna do that. We're going to go to the other room and we're gonna leave her there with Talon. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Leave the
So-
lovebirds.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're going to the study, which is pretty much right next to the living room. And
Yeah.
we're gonna close the door. And we're gonna hear what the good doctor has to say.
Granted, I'm not 100 because I didn't, of course, see what you saw. But that does sound like. I'm just DM, ST. I question.
Go
I
ahead.
know what from the description that it's a demon or
You personally,
yeah.
this does sound like a demon.
Well,
Right.
to be fair, that's what Tatiana suspects also from what William has told her. Vaguely. But anyway.
It's very much sounds like it's a demon, which I happen to be very interested in getting rid of.
Another one.
Another one, possibly the same one, I don't know. Either way, they need to be eradicated.
What's dead now?
Well, you see, they don't stay dead. Unless they're eradicated by in a specific way.
From what I understand, the jump from body to body.
Yes.
Well, that's just groovy.
Yes, that's what makes them so difficult to get rid of.
It's interesting that Actually, again. Well, it's really, really, really interesting. Yeah, that's the good word for it. That the Riddler is like calling it his experiment.
Yes, that cannot be good in any way.
So we're going to go shoot him up.
Yes, I think that's the action we should do. Or just kill him whatever way possible. I'm not particularly picky.
Well,
Here,
we are going to shoot him up if I can't take him and blood bond him and make him my personal bitch.
as long as he's out of circulation, you can do with him whatever you like. Assuming that he's not something that we can't handle. What
If
if the
he-
riddle himself is a demon?
If he's a demon, I would very much like to deal with him when he's near death.
Agreed.
Just so we
But
can get this permanently out of the way.
then I don't get my boon.
No, but you also don't have a demon running around.
You will
That's
get
just gonna
your
skip the
boon.
body.
As
and
long
leave
as
you
he's
with it.
taken out, you get your boon.
And if he's gonna show up just in a slightly different body in a few weeks because you've taken control of the one he had, it's not gonna be very
Effective.
happily effective on either side. I don't think anybody's gonna be happy with that.
So we're thinking the Riddler's a demon now?
It's a possibility we need to take into consideration.
Well, he is working for a bunch of people. And I know for a fact that this is all related to Crane Industries.
Either way, when you go out to meet anything in that sort of way, that is a possibility I would very much like to be taken with. Even if that means leaving my job unexpectedly.
Well,
Okay, we'll see, because two of the three times I've had encounter with the Riddler has not been expected. And this upcoming time is going to definitely, most certainly, be a trap of some sort.
Well, even if it's a trap, I would very much prefer to be there.
well, Creed, the Riddler might be intelligent, but we're more. Strength in numbers after all. The more the merrier. Make your pick. We can't do this alone.
Well, I definitely want the werewolf, even if you are out and out with him.
He's currently living with me. I'm sure I could bring him along.
Alright. Talen's going to come because Talen is Talen. And he's
What's
good with a
that
bow.
supposed to mean? Oh, okay.
And he's reliable. Also, he has this cool trick if he sees the Riddler and the Riddler gets away, he can follow Riddler. He's really good at tracking things once he finds them.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's the catch, though, isn't it? You have to find it first.
You're
Yep.
not there, damn it.
So those are my con.
If nothing else, I can prevent people from getting more hurt than absolutely necessary.
Alright, I don't think we should.
I think Bob has a bone to pick with the Riddler, so he'll come.
Yeah, whoever Bob is. But let's go back to our topic with Zoe. I don't think we should go that deep just yet.
No. I think if she's gonna be taken into society, I think we need to do something. It's gonna be worked slow, of course, but there is options. for
Can
what
you
to do
leave it
with
to
her.
me, Creed?
No, but I can leave it to Talen.
Well, he doesn't have the experience. He has good intentions from what I can tell. And he seems like a good kid, but he doesn't have a way with words. I do.
Look, get Talen to agree, and you got. Because get Talen and Zoe to agree, actually, and you got. But they're up to really Zoe. And Talen's the one who dragged her into this, so he should have the main call.
Well, yes. What I'm trying to say is that if someone has to do it, please let it not be you. I love you, brother, but you don't have a filter when it comes to these things. I've done this before.
Hey, I'm the best to set filtering.
Come on, let's go
Filtering meth
outside.
doesn't count.
It's not very polite to leave our guests waiting. As he will get out of the study and return there.
He's gonna follow. If nobody grabs a hold of him.
But let's put a pause. While we were there, did Talen and Zoe discuss anything?
I imagine she has questions for Talon, like, why the fuck you bring me here? So
No, no,
So
she's pretty happy because she's gotten some answers, so that's fine.
And she's currently on drugs.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing too.
Probably amphetamines. Hopefully not cocaine.
Well, did you ask for amphetamines or did you ask for cocaine?
She asked for uppers, and cocaines are, among many other drugs, are uppers.
Well, she looks young and innocent, so she's getting amphetamines.
I know. So yeah, she's now a little bit jittery, but otherwise, she looks like she's jittery because of what she just took, as opposed to what just happened.
I suppose that's a decent point. Being left alone, Talon will open the floor to her and ask her if she has anything that. Let's see. Would you ask anything of me?
I mean, if Talon went so far as to say, "Do you have questions?" the answer would be, "Oh, I have so many questions. I don't want answers for him, though. Not yet. Nope, not yet."
Well, he's not necessarily asking if you have questions for the supernatural world. It's just anything that you can think of at all that you would ask of him. Doesn't have to, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to pertain to that necessarily.
Is he always high?
Who?
Yeah, that would probably come up at one point.
Oh.
Is Creed always like this?
From what I can tell, it's how he refills. When you
Well, I guess
cross the veil, and he's kind of using metaphors here, but when you cross the veil, everyone kind of has something that makes them tick. And it's different depending on what.
She'll kind of put a hand, like a finger up, just like a simple yes is enough. Yes, he's always like this. Okay, fine.
Anything else?
Well, I can move it along and we can come out then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's more just closing her eyes and trying to. Well, I guess an upper would not have been a good choice to calm herself down, but she is trying to think of something else. And apparently amphetamines are just great for that.
Okay. So
If
yeah, after all
there's
that,
if there's room beside Zoe, he'll sit beside her, and then I guess the other ones move. Everyone else is like joining us.
well, yeah, they will emerge from the study.
I'm gonna need to go, you guys. I need to get to bed.
Okay.
Good night.
Alright.
So
Good
just
night,
assume
doctor.
I'm sitting silently for the rest of the night, and then
Mm-hmm.
driving
Or
Zoe home whenever.
you just wanted to go home because you're a doctor and you work in the morning.
Yeah, or that.
We can
Depending
do
on how
that.
long it takes.
Yeah. And
I'm
besides,
gonna-
Creed can drive her probably.
Yeah.
Since Talen is staying anyways.
Yeah, alright.
Anyway.
See you guys.
Back to it. So Tatiana will sit close to where the two of them are and she will address Talen first.
You know,
Look, I know how to do this calmly and slowly and pace her into this if you agree that this is what you want to do. And if you would allow me, I would like to handle it. And she pretty much looks at both of them for,
he mulls it over for a bit, and you can kind of see like there's this inner dichotomy a little bit, but he finally comes to a conclusion. If I'm present, I'll allow it.
I think he doesn't trust you.
Well, he's literally just met her than like the night before. Like, yeah, he's helping
That
her
was
out,
in
but-
character.
Oh, that's
well, it's not a matter of trust, it's something that I've done before. Very recently, actually, I've had to explain to someone things that had happened. And he was in a far worse state of mind. I have experience in this, and don't get me wrong, Talen, but you have good intentions, I can see that. But the way you express yourself needs work. And I personally don't have a problem with you being present, as long as you don't interject.
Mm. I mean, he eventually gives this slow nod. Like, this is kind of agreeable. Because he's not entirely sure what he's getting into either. By letting you just quote unquote, handle this. So,
And from what I understand, Helen, you may also have some questions. And if I can enlighten some of them, I would be more than glad to do so.
indeed. Now may not be the time. I think she's had enough.
Yes, now is definitely not the time.
Come on, kid. I'll drive you home if that's the case.
I'll actually invite her to the hotel because
You're
Tatiana.
not at the hotel yet. It's the night before.
Oh, yeah, there. So.
Yeah, I think tonight was. I think that was a bit much for tonight. I guess we'll pull off a little bit more of the Band-Aid tomorrow. I hate the idea of I don't like the idea of that going slowly. But on the other hand, I should probably know my limits a bit better.
That is most wise.
I will leave you with one piece of advice. If you're ever in trouble, ever in danger, don't hesitate to text me. I can be there a lot faster than you might think. And we can do the whole goodbye thing, but he wanted to make sure that was said with the other people present too, because Creed also texted him one time, and
So,
Well,
yeah, go.
I'll keep that in mind.
he looks visibly relieved. Like, okay, we just exposed her to this big nasty world. At least someone's able to keep an eye on her. Other than the goodbye and Creed driving her home, I think town's just
Well-
getting filled in on what happened in the study.
I think you wanted to tell her something or something. I don't remember.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah, she will fill him in first with the information. So let's do that. So I'm assuming that the other two have driven off.
Yep, I guess so.
Okay. Well, what the doctor said is that, well, he pretty much confirmed my suspicion from what I have heard. That might have been a demon possessing the body of Malone as he expired, probably.
So, do we know what a demon is or what they're capable of?
Not much. What I know is that they can jump from body to body, leaving
He-
behind empty husks.
He looks visibly not angry, but like uncomfortable with the idea of something shifting bodies because of how he finds things. And we're still in the living room?
Yeah.
Okay. He kind of fumbles with that joint, twirling it in his fingers as he's like, well, that's a shame.
You can light it if you want. I don't mind.
You never know when you might need. What was it? You never know when something like this might come in handy for someone else's sake. And yeah, it's kind of like a nervous tick, just fumbling with it. He's not gonna light it. I was going to bring the matter of Zoey up to you personally. I'm glad we came to that resolution. But that's I can leave it at that. I'm glad we came to that resolution.
I think it's the best option that we have at the moment. Luckily, she's still fairly okay. What I had to deal with the other person was a whole different ballpark. A lot of trauma involved.
Talen is shifting from foot to foot, I guess, and he finally he seems like he's working up the courage, right? And he finally asks, "I know Creed explained something about the blood you two possess.
Yeah,
I don't want what's between you and William to happen to her. But if you have other tools that can make
Oh.
this process easier for her, I'm open to suggestions."
when I suggested ghouling without a bond, this was pretty much it, getting her part of our power without the bonding. And also allow me to explain that the situation with William is not necessarily what I had intended.
He doesn't come across as angry or like he's faulting you for anything, just to be clear.
It's not something I typically do with people I work with, let's say. It was a weak moment, let's say. And I will leave it at that. But I have no intention of using that with your friend. If anything, if we need to give her part of our power, we can do it together and it won't have the effect on either of us. You see, the bond only works when it's from one and multiple times.
He's nodding like he's following along. I meant no disrespect.
It's alright. At this point, I think we've way past that. But anyway, I want to thank you for helping out with the situation. I didn't expect that it would turn out this way.
I must say, the situation with Creed is not what I originally anticipated.
What did you anticipate?
Normally, when he needs help, he just kind of has me accompany him. It's not necessarily that a lot happens. But the thing on that roof is dangerous. Like, there was 4 of us, or no, 3 of us on the roof? 4 of us on the roof? And it was quite a challenge regardless, on its own.
Well, it's good he was able to reach you then.
I'm not saying I'm not going to abandon your brother. But I hope that we're all prepared for this in the future.
Well, I guess from now on we'll have to be a lot more prepared. I thought that this would have been cut and dry. Honestly, I didn't expect that matches would be anything other than just a man. I didn't have any information that would suggest he's anything bad. So the thing that happened means he had some knowledge in order to use that. I'm very sorry that you and your friend get in danger. Is there anything I can do for you?
He's sitting at this point, and he's. Don't get me wrong, you've been good to me. I have shelter now with people like you, so don't think I'm ungrateful. It's more as we go forwards, I'm happy to count you among my friends, if I may, and I'm concerned for our safety if this is the game we're hunting. It's nothing more. I'm not asking anything of you at this time. I believe the shelter and the situation with Zoe is already more than I could ever rightfully ask.
You have a place to stay?
Well, currently it's your guest room.
Well, that hasn't happened, Now
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah.
Now
Oh,
it's
fair enough.
Yeah.
In a sense, I do, but it's not always easy to get to.
Well, you can feel free to use my guest room. It's the least I can do. As for your offer of friendship, I'm more than happy to accept that. And regarding danger, I won't lie to you. Things are dire and there are many dangers. However, I think it's only fair that I let you choose what you're comfortable with doing. If you feel that the situation is too dangerous for you or your friend, you have every right to abstain or pull out or
He kind of like waves his hand as though to brush away the notion. He's like, that won't be something you need to worry about. I always look after my friends.
well, I
You were there
understand
when
that.
he said that you can text him and he was pretty much show up anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing, I don't want my allies to take unnecessary risks or get into situations where they might not come out. Sometimes, if you think that you're way over your head, it's wiser to walk away and live to see and fight another day.
Indeed. Um, I don't believe I have Tatiana's number, so that's what I'll ask for next. And he kind of pulls out
Yeah.
his phone and he's like,
She
if we're
will pull out her purse and give you a calling card, pretty much.
okay. He punches it into his phone. And just to reiterate his point earlier, don't ever hesitate to call me if harm would befall you otherwise.
I will keep that in mind. Now, if you are hungry, I believe there are a couple of places that you can order from. Of course, I'll cover everything. You don't have to worry about it.
He just grins. Yeah, some of us still eat like humans. And he says it like that too. It's like, eat like humans. We don't eat humans.
Yeah, she will hand him a few brochures from, the few places that are still delivering at this ungodly hour.
Some
And
greasy
pretty much,
domino shit.
and pretty much she will leave him, to his peace and go to her study and do her own thing. And I guess since we cut off Creed and Zoe, maybe we can go to them and then end it.
Sounds
Sure.
like a plan.
Creed and Zoe?
Hmm. Well, at least Zoe is happy that the fact that Creed is still upbeat.
Some familiarity.
Sorry, I was kind of zoning out. What I heard Creed's name.
Yeah, we will end the scene with you two,
All right.
since we might have cut you off.
Creed's just driving her to wherever she's asking to go.
And Zoe is pointing the way
All right.
towards Little Asia, as it were.
And he'll take you that way and ask. I mean, we can't really talk while we're driving, but he'll take you to wherever you want to go, and say, when he drops you off, says, "So, how'd you like your first night back down the rabbit hole?"
Well, I guess we'll see if it's more of an Alice down the rabbit hole or digging my way down the rabbit hole.
They'll open up eventually. Tatiana has never been that good at keeping secrets.
I guess secrets are kind of a thing. Everybody keeps secrets.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, if you want to talk about anything, or if you want to talk about anything, need something to help you cope, or just want to chill, you've got my card.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably have to keep away from medicinals. But thanks.
That hurts. That hurts right here. In my little black aching heart. Right.
She'll take the card though, and
Yeah.
then she'll head back into her neighborhood.
Before she goes, before you do go, he will say, "Well, I think this might help a little bit, just in case, to replace the one you lost." And he hands you what looks like a homemade grenade.
She kind of slips that into a pocket. Mine wasn't homemade, but thanks though.
Well, look, some of us can't exactly. I mean, out of character, it looks really nice for homemade, but doesn't look manufactured. That's what I'm saying. Creed says, "Keep that on you. Should help if you get in a sticky situation. If you need more, let me know."
Last time I panicked, I won't lie. I'm not. They're too messy for my normal style. You know?
Smoke grenades then?
Okay, that would actually be useful. Yes.
All right, I'll have a set of those. whipped up for you in a couple of days. It should help keep you out of trouble. And like Talen said, if you do get in trouble and it seems like something you can't handle or something extra spooky, call us and we'll come running.
Nope, she takes the card.
You already have the card.
Yep.
He just gives you a small smile and drives off.
Any last minute declarations from anyone?
I was gonna ask if Tatiana wants family ties.
Sure.
He wants everybody to have family ties. It's
All
really
right, if
nice.
that's it, I'll go ahead and do the outro.
Yeah.
Most beasts do.
Go ahead.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another day in Gotham by Night. We'll see you later.